Thanks for joining me. My name is Liz, and today we're going to go through a short session to release tension from the upper body. So we're going to be focusing on opening up through the chest. I think most people these days have this closed over kind of feeling or even look. It can be kind of over exaggerating it here, but some people actually kind of get to this point where we get really tight through the chest and our bicep muscles, the front of our neck, from just life in general. Things like being on phones, being on computers, driving. Of course, the dogs are going to start to play. So we're going to focus on opening all of that up, opening up down through the sides of the body, the front of the neck. We're going to release through the back muscles, especially through the kind of thoracic spine. Think the muscles between the shoulder blades. But we're also going to do some exercises that strengthen those muscles as well. So a lot of people might feel tightness and tension through the back of their necks and down through the shoulder blade area. When I'm massaging, it's generally a lot of people come in with that complaint. I don't want to say complaint, but that's what people come in wanting me to help them with. But a lot of the time it's because the front side of the body is so tight. We get this internal rotation of our shoulders. The pec muscles get really tight. The SCM muscles down the front of the neck get really tight. Our biceps get really tight. And what happens to the muscles down through the back of the neck and through the thoracic spine area especially, they become long and weak. So what we want to do is have this really nice, what we need to do first of all, I should say, is we need to release the front side first to open that up. And then we want to focus on getting some strength into the muscles along the back side of the body and the spine, so we can actually hold ourselves up in this really nice position instead of being stuck in this position, which can just cause a lot of tension, tightness, and can just be really uncomfortable for people. So we're going to start laying down on our belly. We're actually just going to breathe first. And you might find it hard to do this if you are really tight. So we've got the muscles between the ribcage, which is our intercostal muscles. And if you are tight through the chest as well, the breathing muscles are going to be inhibited. So you may find it hard to breathe. You may be breathing up into your chest, your shoulders and your neck, which can also feed stress. And then it's kind of what came first, the stress or the fact that we haven't been breathing properly. So we're going to lay down. Daisy, who's next to me right now, it's a little bit windy here. She's a little bit scared of the noisy wind, so she's come in here to keep herself nice and safe. So laying down flat, you can rest the forehead down onto the hands. Let the shoulders drop away from the ears if you feel like you're hunching up. Starting to breathe now. So you're going to be breathing in through the nose and breathing out either through the nose or the mouth. And as you're doing that, start to pay attention to where you feel that in your body. So you're going to feel some gentle movement, or we want to feel some gentle movement. And we want to have this feeling of our rib cage expanding out in a 360-degree motion. So if you watch me, it might be really subtle. Hopefully you can see from where the camera is. So if I take a breath in, see that expansion there through here. The pelvis will actually come into a bit of an anterior pelvic tilt. And then as I breathe out, into a posterior pelvic tilt as I breathe in, I should say, my mistake. And then as I breathe out, everything relaxes back in and down, and the pelvis will go into a slight anterior pelvic tilt. So as you're breathing in, feeling the rib cage, you're going to feel this whole kind of back side of the body expand. And there's that gentle, natural rhythm of the spine of the pelvis. So as we're breathing in, you might feel everything kind of fill up through this back area here. Pelvis comes into that posterior tilt. So that's a slight one. And then as you breathe out, everything comes back in and down. And the pelvis comes into that slight anterior pelvic tilt. And that's happening naturally, or we want that to be happening every time we're breathing in and out. But if we're stuck, we might be stuck either in that anterior tilt or stuck in that posterior tilt. It's more likely that we're going to be stuck in the anterior pelvic tilt. And if we're not breathing properly, we're going to start to notice that stuff just starts to go wrong in our body. We don't feel good. We might get pain in certain areas of the body. We might notice things in our hips or our shoulders even, not being able to move properly. Might start to get injuries. So just having that focus, doing this a few more times. This is a great exercise just to do whenever. Let's take one more. And then just gently pressing yourself back up. So we're going to do that at the end as well, and just see if you notice a difference once we have released through the upper part of the body. So the first thing we're going to do is release through the chest. You might feel this also down the front of the arms, either with a foam roller if you've got a long one, or a bolster, or you can use couch cushions, you can use bed pillows. So I'm going to use the bolster today. And I'm going to lay flat down on it, and I want your pelvis and your neck to be supported. So if you do have a foam roller like this, either having something underneath the head or the pelvis, just to keep it supported so we're not dropping back over it and our pelvis isn't dropping back over it and it just feels a little bit yuck. So finding that position, reaching the arms up. So bringing the palms together, and then let the arms float out wide down to the side. And when I get people to do this, they're like, oh my God, this is just absolute heaven. And you might feel that instantly. I'm a bit tight through the chest myself at the moment. Just start to breathe naturally, breathing in and out of the nose. Focusing on relaxing as much as you can over whatever you're laying on. You can even fold up or roll up a towel. It'll be a little less intense, but you're going to get the same effect. If you roll up the towel, lay the spine down on it. Every time you breathe out, see if you can relax more over the support. Just pay attention to where you feel it. And then you can even play around. You can bend through the elbows, and you can play around with the position of the arms. So you might reach them up a little higher, or even come down a little lower. And you'll notice it starts to change where you feel that through the chest. Really nice stretch. we'll hold for 3 more breaths. So you can hold this for as long as you need to. You can pause the video. When I get clients to do it, they don't like hearing that it's time to come out of the position. And then just bringing the arms back up. When you're ready, just making your way off the whatever you're laying on, so whether it was a bolster or cushions or the foam roller, just moving that to the side. So we're going to do a little bit of a stretch just through the front of the neck, and then you can also just release that yourself as well with your fingers. So just going to take the ear down to one side. It's going to get more through the side, down the scalenes, which can get quite tight, especially if we're breathing up into our shoulders or if we're stressed, which is kind of a pretty common thing nowadays for people. So just relaxing as much as you can. Don't force it. Think this shoulder down. And if you want a little bit more, take the other arm, just gently reach over and lightly pull down. Breathe nice and smoothly. Take one more breath. And just gently come up. We'll go to the other side. So dropping the ear down. It might feel really different from side to side. I know my right side at the moment is a little bit tighter. It's a pattern that tends to happen. So just be mindful. Again, you can take that opposite arm over, gently pulling down. Think shoulder down. Aria's out. Good. Take one more breath. And then just gently release that. It's going to take I don't think to this ear comes down to the shoulder, and then just kind of gently lift the chin up and then sort of lean down to the side. Again, think shoulder down. You might feel that a little bit more through the front of the neck. You can even take the chin up, sorry, I should say. And then release that, coming to the other side to drop the ear down and lifting the chin up. Down. So we're going to release through the SCM muscles. That's the big kind of chunky muscles down through the front of the neck. They can get quite tight. So it's going to grab hold so that you can sort of see the muscles there. If you do that, you can kind of see it and grab hold of it and just feel for any spots that might feel tender. I kind of just grab one instantly if that feels a little bit tender, and just gently pressure. We'll put pressure down onto it. We don't want to be ripping at it and causing ourselves heaps and heaps of pain. So just as much pressure as feels okay. Might be a little bit of tenderness there. And you can just gently make your way down the muscle. There's a few trigger points down through the SCM or the sternocleidomastoid. And then one more time on that side. And then we'll move to the other side. You might find it feels pretty different. It might feel the same. So just Just really simple little things that you can do for yourself to feel better. Good. Just gently make your way down the muscle. So lots of things that we can do for ourselves. Obviously it's good to have therapists and people that you can go to if you need to, but ultimately you can be your own therapist. It's just knowing what to do, when to do it, and why you're doing it. And gently release that. Just give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So hopefully you're feeling maybe a little bit better through the chest if you were feeling quite tight. So we're going to roll down through the back now and also underneath the shoulder here into our lat muscles or our latissimus dorsi. But we'll start with just rolling down the spine first. So grabbing a foam roller, even if you've got balls, you could also just use balls for this as well, either side of the spine. And just finding yourself little spots that feel a little bit interesting. And just slowly roll. This is a really hard foam roller. Breathing nice and smoothly as you do it. And if you find a spot and you think, oh, that feels, a little bit tender, stay on it for a little bit. You can breathe deeply. So as you're breathing, think that expansion of the rib cage. And breathing out, let it relax, maybe roll over it a little bit more. So when we think foam rolling, we want to go slow. We don't want to rush it. It's the tissue that we are focusing on. It responds better if we move slow. It's like if you've ever done yin yoga, we hold positions or hold shapes for 3, maybe 5, maybe 7 or 8 minutes to really get into the connective tissue and allow that to start to change. And it's the same on my foam rolling. We just want to go slow with it. So again, spend as much time as you feel you need. I'm going to move on now to the lat muscles, which can be quite intense. We're also, while we're doing this part as well, we are getting into like the intercostals as well. They're all kind of layered on top of one another, muscles are. So we're not just focusing on one particular muscle particularly, because they're going to be layered on top of each other. So with the lats, you're just going to come down to one side, bring the arm up, and you can sort of, I'm just holding my hand here like that so that it's easier. And then it's going to start to roll down from underneath the shoulder here. It come all the way down the side of the rib cage. It does come down into our pelvis here. And then it also has the thoracolumbar fascia, which is a big chunky piece of fascia down through the lower back, which if it's tight, we can restrict our shoulder movement, our arm movement, and it can also just make everything feel a little bit yuck. So we're just gonna come down through the lats today. They're just rolling. I've already got a few little spots there that feel interesting. So just go slow, breathe. You can lift up like this if you really want to go for it. I'm down here just because it's sort of allowing for less pressure on the foam roller. You can come down the rib cage area. Ooh. It's a little bit gnarly. I'm going to go to the other side. Again, spend as much time as you need. Spend 2, maybe even 3 minutes on each section. Oh, no, this side doesn't feel any better. you ever want to torture someone, foam roll. Just breathe. That is intense. All right. Even bring the arm up, over. All right, so we're gonna come on up, and then we're going to just do a little bit of work through the back of the neck and the muscles through between the shoulder blades. So this movement here is really subtle. It can take a little bit to get the hang of. So hands are going to be down. You're going to be looking down, and you want to keep looking down. So as you're coming up, you're not looking up like this. And it's a really subtle movement. So you want to imagine that there's a bit of string tied just to that bit where your neck turns into your skull, so the occipital region there at the back of the head. Imagine there's a bit of string. Imagine there's someone up in the ceiling, and they're just gently going to pull up on the string. So just watch here. I'm just going to lift up from the back of the neck. Really sort of subtle movement. I can feel that just a little bit there through the shoulder blade area, and then lower back down. And do that again, lift up. So you're leading from this part here at the back of the head and lower down. It can take a little bit to get the hang of. So lifting up, breathing in. As you breathe out, lower down. Really good to get some muscles activated there through the back of the neck. A little bit of activation there through the rhomboids, the lower traps. Let's do 3 more. And if you're someone that trains and you struggle, like when you're doing back movements like rows or pull-ups or any kind of back movement, back extensions, this kind of movement here can be really great, knowing that you have to release through the chest first if that is tight, and then just doing this in your warm-up just to get that little activation happening can be really good. So the next movement we're going to do is an actual back extension. So once we've gone from here, arms are going to come now down beside our body. Shoulders are down away from the ears. So we're going to lift the chest up and then squeeze the shoulder blades back and then lower down. So again, shoulders down, lift, and then squeeze the shoulder blades back. So hopefully you can feel that there just through that shoulder blade area. Can take a little bit to get the hang of. So reaching with the fingertips, squeeze back. We're going to go to 10. So this next one here is 5 for me. And we don't want to rush it. We really want to make sure that we're getting the movement. Again, really great to do this before your training, just to get that movement there through the scapulars. Got 3 more. Might notice you naturally squeeze the glutes a little bit as you lift up. 1 more time. Beautiful. And then press back to a child's pose. And then we're going to come down. We're going to finish again with that breathing, that's actually called crocodile breathing, or we could call it diaphragmatic breathing, which is what we're actually doing. But I think it's because we maybe look like a crocodile while we lay here on the floor. I don't know. So shoulders down, and again, just finding that breath in and out of the nose, or in through the nose, out of the mouth. Maybe it feels a little bit different, maybe it feels the same. You're really getting that 360-degree motion. Natural rhythm there through the spine, through the pelvis. Might even start to relax a little bit. Let's do 3 more. And of course you can stay for as long as you feel you need. So I hope that feels good. I hope you got something out of that. So it was short. There's lots of other things that could be done around this whole upper body and releasing it. Lots of other ways to do it. But that's just something that's super simple if you've got, not a lot of equipment, not a lot of time. It's really sort of easy, simple, and very effective. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you didn't, maybe it was a little bit painful. But continue to do that, and you will notice over time that you'll continue to release through the front side of the body, and you'll start to strengthen up those muscles through the back side of the body, which will in turn start to take the feeling away like you're really tight up and through your neck and shoulders and back. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.